Yeah, I mean, you divide by 10 rather than by 8, right? All right, so exit that. Yes. And yeah, that's kind of what it looked like. Okay, and now we want to go the other way. We're going to transmit from the Arduino. We're going to receive it on the Pi. So the Arduino sketch initializes a byte variable to 0, writes it to the serial port, increments it. It's a byte, so when it gets to 255, the next one rolls over back to 0. And here I'm delaying 1 millisecond. So this should be about 100 characters per second. 1,000 characters.
Well, what language is that written in?
This is C++, which I mean, it's the normal IDE, normal language for Arduino, but it's C++.
Particular code to compile a C.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing C++ in this sketch is the slashes for comments.
Yeah, good point. No, actually, the MySerial. Well,
Yeah.
the slashes
Well,
are only
you're right,
for
MySerial is an option, it's a class.
C.
So there's a few things.
Is that 8-bit unsigned in type? I'm not sure if
That's a type def
right.
or
But it's
unsigned char.
I'm not sure if it's specific on C++ or if it's.
On the Python, again, we're going to open the serial port, and we're going to do a non-blocking read on the serial port. If we got something, we're going to spit out what we got. And if not, we go ahead and read it again. So we expect to get got 0, got 1, got 2, got 3, got 4, up to 255, and then we'll wrap it. Ignore this one for a minute. Let's see if it's still compiling. So we're going to see this. What we really want to know is, did we get them all? Because if we miss one, it's just going to scroll by and we're not going to notice it. So I have another version which looks for numbers in order, and so when this one ran, it expected 0, but the first thing it got was 220 because it started up kind of asynchronously. And then this is the number of failures we've seen and the number of times it's wrapped around. So this run did 8 iterations without seeing any errors other than the initial startup. And it's still compiling. And this is a 10-line sketch. It's all going to crack next to it.
What version of the IDE is this?
1.6.7.
I just played with my Arduino IDE and it just took it out of the box and it was much faster than that. It didn't take much time at all to compile a sketch. Why?
I mean, I normally run 1.0.5, and I've never seen the slow speeds like I've been seeing recently. I don't know what the.
Right.
All right, so.
Do you have a conversion program that you could run the compiler on your PC and have it come out in the right language or convert it?
Oh, yeah, Pete did a whole presentation on how to use something other than the Arduino IDE.
It was John.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, no, we both
It was a collaboration. So, yeah, I mean, it didn't find the board right? So I had to set up the right thing, and then I recompiled every file again, which took 3 or 4 minutes, and tried to download it. So that just makes you crazy. Okay, so it's getting a lot of characters. It's hard to did we miss one? Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Paul, did you say you compiled that on your Raspberry Pi?
No, coming on my laptop, which is not a real hefty laptop, but it still is much slower on this IDE for some reason. So here it is, the check. So we've got robust communications of all characters, including hex-on and hex-off characters. If you want to communicate binary data between the two machines, you got to make sure that you can transmit 0 and 255, some of these special cases. There are protocols where you can only use the 7-bit ASCII, normal ASCII things. But what I've been doing tonight, I can send all 256 combinations. All right, I think we're just about done. All right, so now we've got data going back and forth. What do you do and how do you do it? You can roll your own. If I send the letter A, that means turn pin 13 on. So the light turns on. If I send B, turn pin 13 off. That's not real robust. We've seen characters being dropped. So I might try to send an A, and it got corrupted, or it didn't get transmitted, and I think the LED's on, but it's not. So I wrote for my home networking, home automation network, my own message over soft serial class, which it sends a length, so we know how many bytes are, actually it sends a start byte, so that I can synchronize my streams if I get out of whack. It sends a length, it sends the data, and then it sends a checksum. So I can make sure that I got, when I receive it, I do the calculate checksum, compare it, and if it matches, then I know I have good data. If it doesn't match, I know something happened. There's also an open source project called Fermata, runs on Arduinos. I was hoping to have a demo of that, but my main computer's hard drive crashed on Wednesday or Thursday, and I spent most of the weekend rebuilding my machine. When I looked at it, it looks quite reasonable. It allows you to do things on the Pi. It looks like digital write pin 13 Pi. And it sends some message across the serial link, and something on the Arduino recognizes that and allows, turns the pins on and off. There are versions for running stepper motors and motor control shields. So I encourage you to look at that. There's different bindings, Python bindings, Perl bindings, C bindings for writing code on the Pi.
So that Fermata is a code set for both the Raspberry Pi and Arduino that plays together?
Yep, and it's included in the IDE, at least in the higher numbered ones.
Huh.
So you just
The Fermata also has you can also run it, I believe, right there on your desktop, and you just click push button and it puts on and off. So you can use it as an interface between your computer and your Arduino.
So there's good support for Arduino, maybe not so much for some of the other microcontrollers. And then there's pretty good support for the host side for different language bindings and stuff. It's worth looking at. All right, any questions that haven't already been answered?
One quick question.
Yeah.
This looks like a one-to-one communications port. I'm interested in multiple Arduinos talking to a single Raspberry Pi. How would we go about that?
Okay, that's a little more difficult. So the Pi only has one UART,
Yeah.
okay? So you could buy one of these UART chips they were talking about, and you probably, it's probably I2C to talk to it. So you would say, send this character to UART1, send this character to UART3, or this string of characters to UART3.
Or you might just do a wired OR and a master slave, and the slaves only respond to requests.
Right. Multi-rock. Or you could take some of your GPIO lines and off the Raspberry Pi and use them to select for which Arduino you want to be receiving input from, and use it for select or multiclass.
Use it for hardware flip.
Um,
A cheap hardware solution is RS-485, like the network you're using for your home automation. Just a, you know, for multi-drop.
Right, so
Serial
that's
network.
half duplex, so you can only communicate one direction at a time, and you have to turn things around. And you can do 485 full duplex
Yeah.
with 2 more wires.
Right.
The AVR data sheet
Address to
was made mention for, like a multi-machine, UART configuration that I've read a lot of the data sheet on the UART stuff, but it's not been something I've ever actually had to do, so I haven't looked at how that works, but I don't know if that's something that you could make work with, with the Pi as well, or if it's some specific app model.
Now, if you wanted to talk to it from a Due to 3 or 4 Raspberry Pi, that would work because it has multiple UARTs. And I don't know if the Pi 2 has more than one UART. It might.
Does the Pi have native SPI,
Yeah.
SPI bus? There's SPI bus UARTs available.
All right, any other questions?
Have you done anything yourself? This,
So
I mean, not this kind of stuff, but I mean something real.
I use RS-485 serial, right, to talk between a Raspberry Pi and my little home automation nodes. So this has a AT-Tiny 84, which you program with the Arduino IDE, and it has a 485 Phi physical transceiver, which is supposed to be able to go up to 4,000 feet over telephone Cat3 cable. I use it has telephone jacks, and I just daisy chain however many of these I want. And then there's a little shield that not called a shield, what do they call Raspberry Pi hat? There's a hat that I built for the Pi that also has the RS-485. So the RS-485 hooks up to the UART on the Pi to transmit and receive. And then I run software serial on the AT-Tiny 84. And I use my MOS message over software serial to send. So these guys sit and wait and listen on the RS-485. The Pi sends out a message that says, okay, node C, tell me how many times the cat feeder has turned over. And node C says 16. And so he just talks to the different nodes, says, give me your data, and then dumps some of it up to the cloud for viewing things, and keeps track of whether things are running or not.
Did you write your own packaging protocol for the master talking to the slaves?
Yes.
So this is receiving data, but you're not doing it to turn lights on and stuff like that.
Yeah, I feed my cat.
That's right, Deb, yeah, that's right.
So I tell this guy, spin the cat feeder 9 times. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. Spin it 9 times, or 10 times, or whatever.
Have you tried it with lights and stuff like that?
No. I'm not. So I have in my box a extension cord with a relay in line that has a 2-wire 5-volt TTL input. So when you do 5 volts on its ground and signal, when you do 5 volts on the pin, it turns the extension cord on, and when you drop it, it turns the extension cord off.
You have that?
I do.
Did you make it or did you buy it?
No, I bought it. It's in the box here.
I want
Show it
to see
to
that.
Is
It's
that-
not cheap, but it's not terribly expensive.
Is that
It's $20
at,
or something.
is that at Mel's Explain Pro expansion kit, or?
No,
Probably a power tail,
Power Tail. It's Power
$15.
Tail.
That's the name of the company?
Product.
That's another product. Yeah,
At Christmas time, they sell remote power switches you can hook up to your Christmas tree light.
That's what I wanted for all the lights in the windows.
They're $9.
okay.
I'm sure if you bought them on December 26th.
75% off if they still had it.
What was that thing you just
Christmas
mentioned?
tree remote control AC.
For
power
outdoor
switches.
lights, turning your outside lights on and off,
They're very convenient.
or inside. Is it inside or outside?
Well, we had it rigged up to do both. So we had one that transmitted through the windows from the outside lights on, and another one
So there's somewhat weather resistant.
That's right,
outside.
Arduino.
into the cold. That's worth $9.
So you ever turn Pete's lights on?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I could see.
Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening.